effort.
Oh.
So here we have the
coin
graphics for the
toss.
map picking. This is what we missed in the first game. We apologise for that, but now we can see very clearly what maps are going to be struck off. So let's see. And again, they're going to be in Russian, but you guys can see from the pictures, and we'll make our best to tell you which one's which. So
Yeah, first up,
Prokhorovka is gone. Steps is also out.
Но, в принципе, можно обращать внимание на экран, и там, в принципе, все видно. Минус Химмельсдорф.
Himmelsdorf is out. Actually, I think most of you could get that one.
Минус Ласвель. Все-таки последний тур напряг многих, наверное, на этой карте. Остается 4 карты.
Lakeville is gone.
Монастырь, Утес, и Руинберг 5. Последний.
And the GRA TM captain has to check which maps are left.
Минус город. Все.
Ensk is gone.
Остался у нас Майнд-Лемур. Минус Рудники. Минус Рудники.
And Mines was gone. That's the last one to go. Was Mines.
Great. We're going to see new maps. That's good. It's really good.
It's really good. We're not going to see any of the same maps, and which is the first one to be picked. So that's the GRA TM captain who's actually going to pick which map is going to be played first.
Yep. We got Cliff left. We got Ruinberg.
Monastery.
Abbey.
Yeah, Abbey.
Yeah. But called Monastery.
Yeah,
In
it's the same
replay
name.
files.
So Abbey, my favourite map is first. I can't wait to see that one.
Humbug.
Humbug.
And then Cliff, and then Ruinberg. I want Ruinberg.
Second one's Ruinberg.
Cliff.
Cliff.
That's Cliff. Second one is Cliff. Yep, Cliff. And then
Awesome. So we do have the first map playing on Abbey. Right. Let's talk tactics for Abbey. As the two players walk back to their stations, back to their teams, and they're going to get ready to battle. So, Abbey, what do you expect to see before I
It's your favorite map.
It's my favourite map. But first I want to see what you say.
Well, we've seen different tactics from almost every single team, but some of the tactics that are very often seen is a little bit of defensive play on the west side in the little curves around there where no arty can hit you, and then there always seems to be a scout up on the east side to use the 50-meter rule, so no one can get past and get to artillery fast, and then a T1 sitting in the base.
Okay, so what is the standard for Abbey? The Abbey standard is a T69 or T71. Goes to the middle. It guards the middle from any sort of progressive output. This also could be a Chaffee. Sometimes it's been a Chaffee, but teams don't really favour the Chaffee anymore. It seems to get overpowered very easily. But they normally send that to the middle. Then they'll send, let's say they start with the south position. They would send their T1 either far to the east, to use the proximity scouting, it's not actually in the valley, but just over to the side. Then they send the rest of their team into the west, just right into there and just push through. As simple as that. The T69 would, or T71 would just be scouting. Even the artillery will go with, and there will be artillery, will go with the T, and they'll reposition like that. However, sometimes they will keep the T1 back at base, be ultra defensive. The reason they do that is to allow the enemy to get into the cap circle, and they think that they're not spotted, but they get spotted, and then they can counterattack, or even let them start capping. The T1 comes out and goes resets the cap. That gives them a chance to move from the west back into the center or come back, and so it's really dynamic. That's the standard play. But there's also, from the other side, you've got way more things to talk about. However, we're now seeing a close-up of Team Mind, and they are discussing their tactics heavily here with only one player. I feel sorry for the one player, though. With a team of 6, only one guy is down, away from the rest of his teammates, and he must feel a bit lonely, I must say.
A little bit,
yeah. Do they have their names on their jerseys?
Yep, I think they do.
Who's
on the other side.
To the camera?
It's on the other side, so I can't really see.
But there's GRA TM, one of the favourites for the tournament, definitely in the top 3. They finished 3rd or 2nd? I think 3rd. Yeah, they finished third in the tournament, in the lead-up league. So they are definitely one of the big favourites for the event. As you can see, with a very posh uniform, they are looking the piece too. Quite intimidating, really. I know that I was turning up like Mind, with quite inexperienced with offline tournaments. You can see that it's a self-made sort of top, which is cool. I like those teams, and that's why I like M1ND. They're really new. They haven't got the experience of GRA. They're total underdogs in this situation. But Abby, great choice for a first map. So much can happen. So the other things that can happen on the east side, you can push most of your forces into there and send an AMX 5100 and a T69 into the middle, but on the east side of the middle. And then you send them forward, and they climb up onto the hill and start invading the monastery itself via poking in and doing a bit of skirmishing there. You have all your guys supporting you from over on the east side. They can climb up, but if there's nothing there, which there very usually isn't, you can even push through and try and clear the artillery or push into the enemy space, put some pressure on the base. The thing with Abby also is that you can get base trade situations a lot. Teams goes around the east, teams goes around the west, totally switch. And then what happens? You have a choice. If you're in the west, you have the biggest choice. You either come back to defend, or you push through and go for a base race. But that rarely works for the west, for the southern people who went to the west, because it's just the way it works. You've got much easier route from the east. So you'll come back, you'll try and defend, and then the main battle can happen from your own base. So they've got defense positions in your base, and you've got to clean them out. So that's some of the situations that often occur in Abbey.
Interesting.
In summary.
Yeah. In summary.
In summary. And that's the brief. Right, so yeah. So I'm really looking forward to what M1ND can produce on Abbey, even though they're one player down. And and we have seen some really weird things on Abbey. We've seen KV4 turn up. Or was that a KV3? One of the two.
KV3, super slow and just sitting on
did nothing.
Southwestern,
Yeah, it tried to use the defensive position on the west and got destroyed without doing much. I don't think they picked it again.
No.
So I don't think we'll see any KV5s or KV4s or KV3s or whatever it was. It was one of the KVs on this map again.
KV1S, but that was on the mines.
That was on mines. We saw KV1Ss on mines. So.
Weird.
Yeah, unusual. But Chaffee is being selected. We're looking at them selecting their team here. A Chaffee is highlighted. Now that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to take it, because there's also a Leopard 1 in the chat right now. Mm-hmm. But it is known to be taken. And that is on... Which side? That is on M1ND's side. So M1ND has a Chaffee readied up, and that is interesting. I performed decently, but as I said, it's kind of fallen out of favour. I don't see it as often these days. So let's have a look at the and introduce the teams. So M1ND consists of, and these are the players I think would be here today: Himmler, Merck, Benya, Fanat, Dimka, Xbox 69, and Kamek. I'm not sure who's the guy who's not turned up, though. So if we find that out, I will let you know. I think we'll actually get the stats of who's playing what just before the battle, so we can introduce who's actually playing for them. But they're the regular 7 that M1ND usually fields. What about GRA?
Well, GRA usually uses Minsk, Amelie, FC Dynamo, International, Armageddon, Miss U Rock, Colento, and then Denial, Blonde, and the Apple. They're there for most of the battles, but I've been sitting out a few of them. I
don't think he'll be here, considering the rest of them are Ukrainian. He's the only non-Ukrainian in the team. So they're local guys. Obviously, they're going to be really enforced today. Probably the ones, I would say, the favourites to take out Rush, because they are local. You know, they have the home ground advantage. That is a big thing. That is a big thing. And hello, ladies.
Hello, ladies.
I wonder if they give us a wave. Gonna give us a wave, ladies? No.
No. Okay.
No wave for us. That's a shame.
Oh well.
But there we go. Nice quick link of the ladies there. Right. So there's no battle on right now. Sorry about the confusion. It's a test battle to make sure everyone can connect and there's no problems.
Yeah.
That was my fault for saying that it was, but no, it wasn't. They were just testing. I think the tier 10s in the battle should have given it away, but I did look at the listings.
No, you didn't.
Whatever.
But yeah, they have now picked the more appropriate tanks, so I think this is the lineup we're going to see.
I think we are, and the Chaffee has gone.
Yeah, sadly. The chat was going nuts about that, and we only have
No, I said it's a possibility. You know, it's one of those things that it's definitely a choice that has appeared on Abby before, and I like to see strategies that are non-standard, they're non-cookie cutter.
Yeah.
So we now have the final lineup ready, and the teams are going into battle right now. You can see the focus on their faces there from Mind and GRA M. And we do have Dynamo, Armalee, Denial Blonde, Minx, Kalento, International 64, and Armageddon on the team for Red GRA M.
Yeah, and on mine we have Denial, and Mac Himmler, Kamek, and Dimka, and oh my god, he's so gosu.
Oh my god, he's so gosu. What a name! What a name. But let's have a look at the lineups. We do have the AMX 3090s, the AMX 3090s times 3, 2 T69s, but the T71's chosen for GRA M. Now, this is the one that I'm never sure about. I don't know how the T71 can be picked so often. I never see it do so well. GRA M obviously knows something better than I do, and we're going to see that any second now. Now, as you can see, into the middle, we're going to see the Kalento and all the AMX 90. So this is a completely different, non-standard strategy run here by GRA M. They're sending all their 90s into the middle. They're securing the monastery for themselves, and on the far east they're sending just the T71. So in fact it's kind of like a reverse of what the normal strategy would be, of sending all your tanks onto the far west and just one tank into the middle. They've done the absolute reverse.
Yeah, and we can see that Mind has done just what you said, and they're pushing all the way with every single tank they have on the west. So
wait, not even a T1 back at base?
Nope, not a single tank in base.
Well, if you're gonna go all in, you gotta go all in, eh?
Hey, they don't have a T1, so
they are down one guy who would be the T1 but defending the base, and
that's the point.
They are gonna go instead. But we are seeing GRA M being incredibly aggressive. International 64 moving all the way up into the base. They've quickly found out there is nothing here over on the east side, instantly letting them know that it is all going to go down in the west. So International 64 and Armalee moving on in to secure the base positions, and we're going to see a reverse fight here from Mind defending their base. Well, from afar, should I say. Their base is going to be taken now. As you see, they're moving in, and all the base is taken. So GRA M have taken Mind's base, but are not starting the cap. International 64 is going to start the cap. That reveals to the opponents what is going down. Mind are going to have to react now and come back to try and defend. So we're now going to see Dead Professor, Meg, and his friends come back.
Yeah, the only one we have back right now is, oh my god, he's so gosu. And he's not going up there to decap. He's more worried about the AMX 1390s down in his face and the T71 as well. And of course, he can't just rush into the base. He will just
Here
be
we go. His
damaged.
teammates are turning up though. K-Mech is coming around the corner trying to get Kalento. They actually could pick him off here if they're not too aggressive, but they're too slow, and it's going to be the cap.
One cap. Yep.
Oh, Mind, you waited just a little bit too long, and that is it. That is the end of the battle one. Mind, you don't wait so long on Abby. This is a big trap that can happen a lot. I've seen it happen many times. It happened again. They waited far too long to come back. They got back. They all got together. You can't afford to do that. This is why other teams do this. The GRA M did it. They took their base, held it in defensive positions, started the cap with 3 guys immediately. And if you do that, the cap circle's going up so fast. And if you don't immediately come back as fast as you can, come around the corner, defeat the guys who are guarding, and get one guy at least to spot the cap circle, it's game over. Yeah. Especially if you let the north base get taken. It's not so bad with the south base. You can actually attack your own southern base quite easily, but the north base, it's way harder. Yeah. So if you're in the north position and you let someone take your base, gotta say, you have a high chance of loss.
Yeah, but we did see, oh my god, he's so gosu go back, but he didn't spot a single tank, so
no,
too slow, and it did not pay off going all the way over there with every single tank. If they had just had one tank left, they would have seen what they were doing.
If he moved forward all the way, just ignored the 2 tanks that came back and just dodged and tried to get back to the cap circle, they had a chance. And I think the difference is they didn't have a chance with no one back. Oh. Even if he died, they lost, you know. So he stayed back to stay alive. They lost. If he ran forward and died, they would lose. But if he ran forward and lived, they had a chance to reset the cap. So trying to save yourself in that situation, not worth it.
No,
not worth it at all. The only way to defend that situation is doing that. But What were they thinking, Mind?
Yeah. Oh God.
I'm sorry, that was a mistake. But they now get another chance. And remember, this was GRA-TM's choice.
Yeah.
But Mind picked the start location.
Yeah.
And if they made that mistake starting from the north, got a feeling they don't know Abbey. You can't let your northern base go.
No.
And if they're going to push all one direction, you've got to push. And this is actually something that everyone can learn. You can see GRA-TM relaxing here first.
Yeah, very chilled out there.
Very chilled out. Pictures being taken of them. They're like, cool. The experience really does show for them. The experience of being veterans of the LAN, it's showing right there. But something you guys can all learn from these sort of situations is the difference between a lemming train and a rush. Okay?
Yeah.
A lemming train is where you push forward with all your tanks and then stop.
Yes, like they did.
Like they did. But a rush is where you push forward with your tank, you keep going, you just take everything out on the way past, and you just keep going, and you get to their base even faster than them getting to your base the other way with no opposition. That's a rush. So there's a big difference. And in pickup games, you often see people do a lemming train, and lemming trains forming aren't always bad. They're only bad once they stop. And once they stop, you've got a whole useless side doing nothing. But game number two coming right up. Map number 1, game number 2 of set number 2, GRA-TM versus Mind. We are seeing new changes. Mind have gone for the exact same lineup. And we have GRA-TM going for T-71s and 2 Bisons with no actual scouts. This is a lineup I think that actually reflects their situation. It reflects the fact that they know they're one tank up. That's it. Simple as that.
Yeah.
I think they would be going with a T1 and T69s if they had actually faced a team with all their team.
Yeah.
But we're going to see what they do now. We have Dynamo moving into the center. They're going to play a bit more standard this time with the T71 moving into the center, the Bison staying back at base, and everyone else pushing forward. Now, they're running a standard strategy with an unusual lineup, and that means that they could be caught off guard. If we see a rush, a proper rush from Mind, and they head down the eastern track, they could catch them off guard. There's no T1 guard in there. So they've got a very standard lineup, but without that T1, and the T1 makes a huge difference.
Yep, we're seeing the same deal with Mind, but they do have one T71
Wait a minute.
in the middle.
We have Demka running into Armor Lee, but behind this rock, they can't actually hit each other. This is a situation that looks dangerous, but they're both very safe. You're going to see the Bisons trying to hit them here. They actually have a great arc, so they can actually hit behind this rock. You think you're safe, but you're not. But we have Dead Professor, Kamek, Demka, Armor Lee, International 64, Kalento, and Minx all here in a standoff. And there's the Bison hitting Demka.
Yep. Boom. That hurt. That was a lot of damage.
Light armor, it's a T71, isn't it? No, it's the MS-90.
AMX, yeah.
So that's the 90, and the 90 has no armor, so even the light Bison can do a ton of damage. And you see the formation here from GRA-TM, even the Bisons coming in, attacking International 64, but the Bison from, the Bisons here for GRA-TM trying to take out Demka. But this is a bit of a standoff. Both teams going the same way. There's not much they can do apart from take damage from any artillery shells. International 64 taking a shot there.
Again,
Demka could go down. And if he does go down, then that would be horrible for Mind. They'll lose their forward scouting position. The artillery will become less effective. But Kaelmek is actually getting some shots off on International 64. And Armor Lee taking a little bit of damage. But there he goes. He does go down. Demka going down for Mind is really bad news for them. Obviously, they're down one tank already. But he was their forward scout. They're now not going to be able to see their enemies very well at all. GRA-TM have got a much easier time now, but International 64 and Armor Lee still taking a lot of HP, and they're trapped there. If they try and leave, they will take even more damage and very likely die. So what do you think they can do, Mind, here to get out of the situation?
Well, Mac needs to get out of there at least, because they do have eyes in the middle, but they don't really need Mac just actually sitting up there. But the question is, can he get out of there without taking more damage? And FC Dynamo is chasing. Oh my god, he so goes in the middle there. And oh my god, is getting away, hiding behind a building. And getting maybe some support by Mac.
Well, oh my god, he's so goosey. He's going to go down in 2 more shots. 1 more, he is down. Dynamo has enough, but he takes a lot of damage in the meantime, but he does get out of there. Dynamo gets the free kill there, 1 for nothing. And we are seeing now GRA push forward. They've got the advantage now, 2 tanks down for none. Will they actually decide to push forward? They have Minx and Kalento actually been able to change positions. I'd missed that, but Kalento actually got forward and Armely got away. Dead Professor tries to get forward but takes a bit of damage, and Mine cannot afford to lose Dead Professor as well. They are in a hell of a position right now, GRA. I wouldn't be surprised if they push forward now and try and just steamroll past.
Yeah, that would be they're moving up at least. International with, I think, the least amount of HP available on his team, so I guess he's the biggest spare they have right now. Amelie actually being a little bit lower, but he is in the T71.
And Dead Professor dodging a couple of artillery shots here as they come down, splashing either side of them, but he was able to dodge them and take no damage. Kermack, though, taking damage every time he's loads out, and he's going to go down if he gets 1 more hit, but no, he managed to take out International 64. Great kill there from Mine, desperately needed, but Merrick is back, and he's taking damage. Although he's unspotted, they know where he is. I wouldn't be surprised if Kalento moves out, spots him again, but the team despawns, and Amelie, though, coming around the back with a fully loaded T71, runs into the Dead Professor, hits him in the side. Will Dead Professor come around and finish him off? Yes, he will, and that's Amelie down. So we're down to 3 tanks for Mind, but oh, the Bisons, double Bisons hit Benya, boom, he goes down. Caught in the open, unable to move, and he goes down. Kalento moves forwards, Merrick is gonna go down. Absolutely no chance for him surviving this one. No, yes. Kalento decides, run out of shells? Doesn't want to take it down, but Merrick is there, running away now, and I don't think GRA are going to let him go. That is the end of that, and GRA take this. That was pretty decisive, I think. First map gone. Which is the second map again?
Runeberg?
Runeberg. Okay, so we have Runeberg on the second map. It's
Cliff.
Cliff. Okay,
Yep.
Cliff. We have Cliff for the second map, and okay, Cliff can be done with 6 guys, I think. So Cliff a much better chance for Mind than Abbey. Abbey's such a complicated match that you really need all 7 players there, and I really.
Yeah, that's why they lost.
Yeah, I feel so sorry for Mind. They messed up the first game. Anyone could do that. I've seen that happen to many experienced players. They get nervous. They don't want to push forward, and that can happen. Second match was much closer. It was much more give and take. Back and forth. But losing 1 guy, being down a guy really hurts. So we're going to move on to the second map any moment now. And they're already ready. So it's all about just submitting your lineups. And let's see. Demeka, you only fired 1 shot in the last battle.
That's not very good.
That's not very good for Mind at all. We have 7 shots fired for Claymek. Dead Professor fired a clip and a bit, so that's okay. So all of them did fine, apart from 1, and that's enough. If you're down a player already, losing 1. But then we've got T71 Armelie. He went down very early. We're only getting 2 shots off.
Tons of damage from the Bisons.
Yeah, tons of damage from the Bison. Let's have a look at the Bisons. 1,545, 1,219, and
0.
150. Okay. So yeah, we have the Bisons. The Himmler only got 150. So wow, that was a disappointing performance there.
Yep, it was.
Oh yeah, do the same. So yeah, so Himmler, man, 150 damage only in the Bison, where all the other Bisons from GRTM were doing a ton of damage. That's just, wow, unfortunate, or he's got to pick up his pace, I think. He's just got to...
Pretty sure that's damage taken, actually.
Was that damage taken?
So he actually...
He did no damage! Oh wow, no, you're right.
Yeah.
Connected with 0. No damage at all. Wow, sorry, I'm reading the wrong column there. My Russian isn't so good. But yeah, it is, you're right. No damage done. No damage whatsoever.
Yeah.
Oh wow. That's even worse than I was thinking.
Yep.
That's even worse. I was like, only 150,
No
one shot hit. No. 6 shots fired, 0 damage. Oh, wow. Well, you know, so GRA now, very comfortable situation. They are controlling Mind very easily off that first battle. Mind are probably a bit nervous. Not only are they missing a guy, that must add to your nerves, but look at that, stress on the players' faces. They know they're in trouble here.
Yep.
They got all the way here and they're down a player, and that must be really hard on all of them. They must be thinking as hard as they can. They're against the toughest opponents in their region, on their cluster. You know, guys who came third, and they're one guy down. That must be enormous stress. It would be enormous stress to face GRA on an offline tournament, regardless. Yeah. Down a guy? Oh wow!
Yeah,
I just couldn't do it.
Yeah, no.
That would really. Oh, they
really
they did show the one guy on his own. That. There we go. Oh, look at the sigh. I feel so bad for him. And
my thoughts go us out.
Yeah, really. Yeah. And GRA though, much more relaxed.
Yeah.
Look, exercises, good exercises. Next. Everyone do your exercise with your hands before you play tanks. Make sure you're all relaxed. That's very good. Nice. So yeah, some tips. Actually, I have read that. Exercises for professional players needing to be done. Things like this, and stretch this area here, pull back. Without making it correct, oh, that hurts for me. But no, to make yourself all nice and loose, try and, all these sort of things. There are actually techniques people use to lighten the load to make sure that they're not hunched over. So if you're going to be becoming pro, you're getting into the scene, definitely look into it. There's some physical attributes to it too, especially doing an offline tournament for 5 days. You can't be eating rubbish, staying up late, drinking Red Bull.
Nobody can eat rubbish. But I know what you mean. I know, but
you can't eat junk food. Okay, is that an English expression? Did no one else say that? You don't eat rubbish. Of course you don't eat rubbish. But you know, junk food. You can't eat high sugar foods. If you eat high sugar foods on day 1, by day 3 you're wrecked. If you're an older gentleman at least.
Old, gentle, skinny gentleman.
Older, skinny gentleman. But if you're young, you can probably get away with it. But I know if you start with Red Bull on day 1, by day 5 you're feeling sick.
Yep.
And you can't keep it up. So you've got to rest, you've got to pace yourself. And the crowd here are doing wonders. If you haven't heard them, they've been going nuts. It's really, really good atmosphere here today. Yeah. And people from Ukraine, give us a wave! Waving! Yeah. Everyone here are really looking forward to every single match. And I don't know if you know, but behind that stand are like 100 computers. 100 computers set up to play like any of the latest games, and many people come here. So Cyber Cafe, and they go ahead and play World of Tanks for countless hours. We were here for one night, just relaxing, checking out the venue, and there were people just all night playing tanks here at the Cyber Cafe. So it's really nice to see that. You don't really see that in England anymore, so it's really cool to be in a Cyber Cafe in 2013. It's really cool.
Yeah,
I like it.
And then walk out into the street and see like small buses, like coaches, not really fit for streets.
Very old one. It's like a time walk.
The bus.
But here we go. Map number 2, game number 1 with Mind versus Red GRA TM. Fantastic. On Cliff. We are on Cliff. Amazing. So we have on the southern position, starting is GRA TM, and on the northern position we have Mind.
And actually, well, the only change on GRA TM's team is the addition of the T1 instead of an extra Bison.
Yeah, and they've gone for 3 AMX-1390s again there on Mind. And that's something they've kept this entire time. So, I don't know, it's something that I prefer when we have AMX-1390s and 2 T69s. I love that formation way more. AMX-1390 times 2, T69 times 2. It gives you the versatility to deal with anything. And that's exactly what GRA TM have done here today. And the lineup is very strong. Yeah, so we're going to see, I mean, because Cliff is quite bumpy. I mean, what sort of disadvantages do you have on the MX-90 on Cliff? How hard is it to, because it doesn't look up and down, does it?
Yeah, well, you can't use the, of course, gun depression because it nearly has none. But like this, it's a standoff, but not really a standoff because all you can do is peek. You can't shoot at anything. Even at the Kamek down there, he can't even shoot down on him.
Oh, but International 64 dodges some artillery shots, but also gets some supporting fire from the rest of mines, taking him only down a little bit of damage, but every little helps. So now HP is really important. I think we've covered that today, how important HP is. During this opening stage of the match, you often get skirmishes happening where you exchange fire at long range with the opponents, and if you lose half your hit points on most of your tanks, when the big engagement happens, you're losing guns. And the most important thing, apart from HP, is your guns. If you haven't got many guns left, you can't do the damage. So even if you've got less HP, come the end, it's not important. And oh, that shell went right next to International 64, and he fires the rest of his clip off, not caring, and just goes off for the reload. Colento, though, and Dynamo moving forward to see if he can get better spotting positions onto Mine, because right now Mine are holding far back.
Yeah, they are. And they've met two of Amelie and Minsk on the other side of the cliff, so... Oh, and Minsk goes down.
Well, hey, and that's Minsk going down. That's looking good, but Demika goes down immediately after Colento Dynamo flanking them. Mek and Dead Professor in a huge amount of trouble because Colento and Dynamo coming round the back. Oh my god, I'm so Gusu and K-Mek trying to help, but Dynamo runs out of ammo, calling for the reload. Amelie will not be able to do enough damage to kill both of these, but he does be able to take out Mek. So Benya now moves forward. Dead Professor got to finish off Amelie before he gets around the mountain, because otherwise the Bison can support him. Yeah. But no, he's not going to bother. He's not going to go, and he's going to come back instead and try and help K-Mek, who's in a lot of trouble over here against Dynamo and Colento. So we have International 64 on the hill also supporting. It doesn't look good for Mind.
No, it really doesn't. The confrontation on the cliff didn't really go well, even though it was just an exchange. An AMX 1390 died compared to Minsk and his AMX 1390. I thought it was a T71, but because
there he is, the Bison was spotted and taken down.
Yeah, that would have been a really bad exchange if it was that, but luckily it wasn't. But again, 7 players versus 3.
6.
It really looked.
They have lost
6,
one.
yeah,
Minks did go down.
Yeah. So.
Yep, so they're in a lot of trouble now, really. I don't think Dead Professor and K-Mek can actually do much here against GRA at full strength, and this is yet another game dropped by Mind, and unfortunately the underdogs being rooted by the international audience are in a bit of trouble right now, and I don't think that we're going to be able to see them come back from such a position. And
well, the Dead Professor is trying to flank, but they're just rolling down the mountain, so
yeah, Dynamo
it doesn't matter.
It's taken out K-Mek. And sorry about my camera controls a bit off. The controls are not the same as my usual setup, guys, so I'm still getting used to how this all works. And Dynamo and Colento move forward after killing him. K-Mek goes down, and they're just going to go for the cap. If they can't see this last guy, they've just spotted him. Dead Professor comes around the back, tries to finish off Colento, but is unable to do so. And Colento is actually going to be... Oh! I didn't think he was actually going to die there at the last second. He does go down, but that's only a moral victory, losing 2, or should I say, killing 2 instead of just killing 1. That's keeping your morale up, though, is important. If they're going to go into the second game, possibly the last game they play before going into the losers bracket, you need morale. If you lose... all that, let's say you don't kill anybody, you lose everybody, you don't kill a single person, you go into your last game going, whatever, we've lost.
Yep.
And so, yeah, let's go into the stats. Let's see if we can see the story via our stats here. We have Mayek, we have Dead Professor, and Demka. Mayek and Demka, look at it, 4 shots fired, 3 shots fired. Dead Professor did well, obviously, reloaded and came back at the end there, but just outnumbered. The T69 K-Mek did also quite a bit of damage, but oh my god, he's so Gosu was not so Gosu.
No. He did the infamous rock ram, so...
yeah, he didn't exactly do well. What about on GRA?
Well, Colento, who died in the end there, actually did really well, hitting 8 of his 14 shells. So he did quite a lot of damage. He killed an AMX 1390 by himself in stats. And then the rest was, well, Dynamo hit half his shells, enough to win, and the Bison did around 900 damage on 3 shells.
Actually, I didn't check that one. Hemmler actually did better this time, 763, so pretty even there. One Bison at a time, doing about the same, so Oh, okay. Okay, sorry there.
No, it's okay.
When did they change the Alcos last patch? Himmler there, yeah. I'd never pay attention to that.
You
I always
never
look
pay
at I always look at the
attention.
experience points. When I'm playing Matchmaker, it's like, I want to see how much experience points I've won.
Who cares about damage?
Who cares about damage now if you get the experience points, right? Am I right?
You know,
But yeah, in this situation, yeah, we're seeing that the if we go for full screen stats there, we can see they were quite even. It was not really any one person let them down. It was
No.
just a case of one person got focused. Oh my god, he's a Gusu. Gusu. He got focused down early. Then they got flanked. It was a positional disadvantage really there.
Yeah.
GRA took advantage of it. Mine were taken down.
yeah.
Would an extra player help them here? I'm not sure.
An extra player could be sitting next to. Oh wait, no, it wouldn't, because
No.
the only extra player you could have would be a T1.
And they had all the vision. They actually knew where GRA were coming from. So
Exactly
I
where
don't
they
think. I think GRA actually outplayed Mind there, and that doesn't look good.
No.
Going into the second game here on the second map means that this is Mind's final chance to stay in the winners bracket, and if they fail this, then they're going to go down to the losers and join Synergy there. Both teams playing with 6 members, which we again stressed they could turn up over the next couple of days. So there we go. But Mind know the situation they're in. They absolutely know they're in a lot of trouble. You can see their disappointment. They got here to the finals, and in their first set, they're not doing so well. That's the sort of thing that can really, it really upsets you. It really takes you down. You're like, yes, we got to the finals. You turn to the finals, like, well, we're man down, and that really affects your morale. It really affects your gameplay, and even your decision making. You're like, well, we're man down, and you think negatively, and therefore your gameplay is affected negatively. Yeah, but anyway, let's go into it. We have GRA versus Mind, game number 2 on map number 2. If Mind loses this, they are down into the losers brackets, but not out. Dynamo, International 64, Armor Lee, Denao, Blonde, Minx, Kalenter, and Armageddon for GRA.
And Dead Professor, Mac, Himmler, Kamek, Dimka, and oh my god, he's so Guso from Mind. Gosu.
I can correct you for a change.
No.
Oh yeah.
No.
Into the battle we go, and we have the same lineups from both teams going. Although no, we do have the third AMX 90 gone, and they're going for a second T69. I really like that change. I think it's a really good change they made there. They shouldn't. I don't approve of the AMX 90 times 3.
No.
And listen, they agree with me, and they've gone for the extra T69.
Yeah.
So
it seems like
here we go.
they are going. Mind is going for a early push on the west side, and GRA is going on the usual stuff, going to the cliff.
Taking the cliff.
Why go to the hill if it's already taken? I think that's the point that Mind is trying to say here.
Indeed, and that's actually, I find it really interesting. But look at the formation of GRA. They're expecting it. Dynamo, Kalento, sorry.
Oh yeah, they are.
They're all back here. Denial Blonde, Armageddon, Armor Lee, all waiting and look in that direction. Look at this. They know what's going on. They're like, okay, they can come this way or this way. This way or this way. They're prepared. They have the scouts on the hill. International 64 will be able to see if they go round the mountain, which they're not. And the rest of them know they hit. Look, pings go out. They know the information. And this is what I keep stressing to people. Non-information is information. If you can't see them down on the east side, then they're in the west. Pretty obvious. And that's exactly what we're seeing here. GRA responding expertly to very little information. Kalento sniping away. And Dynamo, though, and Kalento moving from their camping position. I wonder if they're going to move out.
I wonder too. But we see Mind in defensive positions as well.
What a shot! Who did that?
Bison.
Nice. So that's Himmler hitting Kalento as soon as he was spotted, which means they have vision advantage. This is one thing that I do want to improve over the next season, guys, to be able to tell you what they have installed on their tanks. Someone obviously has binoculars and saw Kalento where Kalento could not see them. So that was really good there. Move from Mind, taking the extra vision, and was able to take a good shot onto Kalento. That HP, every bit of HP is going to be huge for Mind. They got to win this to stay in it, and so it's really desperate for them. You're really desperate.
Yep. Dimka just spotted International move down from the hill, so I don't know if that's a good idea. Well, they had the overview of the entire thing, and he just got 2 shells into him.
So yeah, the artillery formation though over here for GRA is actually not so secure. You know, with the tanks coming from the west side, they're actually quite vulnerable. If they're spotted over here, the T1 and the T71 will be in a bit of trouble. So you know, it's a case of they're here for scouting. Clearly, Armely, Armageddon, and Dinal Blanc, well, obviously not him, but the Bison's just there for positional advantage, are here to be able to see them as they come round, and they won't fire until the enemy are clearly in the open or pushing through. The pings are still going out desperately there.
Yeah, they know that they're also pinging here like crazy. Well, Dimka and the other guys know that International is all the way over there, and he could be going down. I won't expect him to go down the base. It's way too open, and he's still just sitting there.
Definitely. So we have now Blanc, Armageddon, Armely now starting to move from their positions here, leaving Armageddon 008 or 008 in the position to do his job for him. And so we have Armely moving across to the other side of the mountain. So I don't know why he's going there. There's no information to say that he should be over here, and yet he's going anyway.
Yeah, and oh my god, he's so... Gosu.
Gosu.
It's like Goku with S. Gosu. He's moving to the... he has moved to the east side, towards the east, and is now... He's going around and try and spot the International from another angle. But he has to move all the way over here, which is probably a little bit dangerous, but he is trying. He's very cautious. He's very, very cautious, and he spots International right there, I think. No, maybe that was someone else from... I think that was Dimka again. He's been sitting in a bush, so he can easily have a great overview of the whole east side.
Yep. So Armely is probing to see if there's anyone left in their base, which there is one, but they're missing each other so far. So Armely thinks it's clear. International 64 joins him. He took a little bit of damage from the open trip there, but is coming round to see if they can make anything happen. He is actually, with only 678 HP, he's leading the way into Mine's base, and we're going to see if they actually manage to make it somewhere. So will International 64 able to make it into the base? He's going straight for the cap circle. He's going to try and break their camp, make them turn back. With a little bit of cap pressure, they can. And
okay, I have a question. How did they get past? Oh my god, he's so Gosu.
Because they went round the back. They dropped down the mountain.
Yeah, but he's been sitting right there.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Yeah, they just could see, but on the other side of the battlefield, I didn't see how Demetka could go down. And oh my god, Hisagosu goes down. And here we have in the middle here, Merc and Kemek taking a lot of damage. Dynamo, Kalento, and Minx also taking a lot of damage. But I think that can't be any victory here from Mind, as Kemek takes a ton of damage and has forced to withdraw and is trying to get out of there. But Dynamo's going to come around the corner and he's going to pick up the Kemek. No, he's not. Kemek gets off over the mountain and able to get down and away. But no, Minx is not going to let that happen. Chasing him even further, aiming, one shot at 3 HP, but no, Dynamo says, "Yeah, out of here," and knocks him out of the match. In the meantime, though, Dead Professor is heading back to cancel the cap, and that's why the cap pressure is so important. It split the forces of Mind to make it nice and easy for GRA to go and clean this up. International 64 is the only casualty so far, but Armely is moving up to make sure that it stays there. However, the rest of the team is going down for Mind, with Dead Professor being the last guy in a strong position. Armely comes behind him though, and he's on reload. He's got to try and take out Armely. He should be able to, but Armely's doing a ton of damage to Dead Professor. Dead Professor should not be taking this much damage from Armely. He must be reloading still. And there he goes down. He's not actually firing still. I guess that's Amarak damage there.
Maybe.
He's gone. GG, well played from the teams. And that is it. Mine is down into the losers bracket, and GRA take the victory, moves on to the next set.